he's shirtless again! Hey guys, it's Jessica and welcome back to Seduce Me 2, and we are now continuing. Now we're back with the husbando in the demon world, and the demon lord is just planning to kill everybody. A racist demon lord. And I placed a curse on our character and we can't leave the demon lord unless we die or kill him. Obviously we're going to aim to kill him because I don't want to die. I don't want any of the boys to die. And Diana's acting shady again. I don't trust her, so I don't know what's going on. I'm really afraid. Oh gosh. Anyway, let's continue now. Our walk continued until I entered my old room with Erik. Our guide left us alone, needing to prepare for the rest of the day. Erik sat on the bed, ushering me to sit beside him. Like a magnet, I was drawn to him, sitting beside him. I would too. It was a major relief for my mind to know that everything was going to be taken care of. It was even larger relief to know that I could be with the men that I loved in the meantime. I laid my head on Erik's shoulder and he wrapped his arm around me.
Are you really okay?
I guess. I nodded. The only thing that was wrong with me was being trapped, but there was nothing I could do until we got the demon lord. Erik seemed to know this as well and kissed over my head.
Well, at least you were no longer disgusted by me.
I could never be disgusted by you, Erik, please. Erik, I was never in control. I was never disgusted by you, okay? Let's make this clear now. The feeling of love ran through my body as I settled into the situation. I could finally hold on to him and love him as I meant to instead of being cruel. It was a blessing. Erik nodded once again before hugging me softly to him, laying us back across the bed. I wrapped an arm unconsciously around him and listened to the rhythm of his breathing, which made me in turn feel at peace.
We'll get to go home soon.
I hope so. I know. I closed my eyes, letting out an embrace, slowly enticing my sleep. It didn't bother me that I was dressed with my boots still on. It was such a peaceful transition. I barely felt the shift between being awake and being asleep. I held Erik close to me, listening to his heartbeat. The simple I can't pronounce words clearly. I don't know why. Of it filling my own heart with such joy that I could not deny the smile on my face from stretching further. Whatever held me for so long had no longer a hold over my mind and body, allowing my heart once again to guide my actions. As I slept, however, a voice I had not heard in a while reappeared.
Why? Why did you do that?
Oh, is it the orb? It's the orb. Huh? Within the darkness of my dreams appeared the familiar purple orb, floating in the vast space. I felt once again charmed by it, but I was more confused as to why it was in my dreams and why it asked me such a question. You.
Why would you do that?
Do what? Do what? What are you doing here?
I don't understand.
I don't understand either. What are you doing here? I had to repeat myself. The orb didn't move or change. Something about looking at it made me feel unsure. Why was the spirit haunting me?
I don't understand why you like him.
Excuse me? What? Don't sass me, orb. Why I like Erik? Was this spirit the reason why I was aggressive to Erik? I glared at the orb, suddenly putting my two and two together. You were the one who made me act so cruel towards him.
He's icky. He's an icky man.
What? He's the man that I love. He's my... Excuse me, orb. What the hell are you talking about? I loved him dearly and didn't want to treat him like I did. If I was being forced, then I needed to stop the one who was forcing me.
Loving a person doesn't make them less icky.
What does icky mean, huh? Orb? What's so icky about him?
He talks funny. He keeps touching you. He has those...
sex eyes?
Yeah. He is so icky.
I'm not as disgusting as you make me out to be, spirit.
What the fuck? My heart jumped at the sound of Erik's voice. Behind me appeared a reddish shadow, which quickly formed itself into Erik. The orb seemed to pulsate at the sight of him.
Icky man.
My name is Erik, and you are not welcome in my princess's dreams or her body.
You're not either.
It's too late for that. Erik! Erik looked back at me and smiled before stepping forward, making the orb back away a bit. I couldn't tell if it was a fear or anger, but the pulsating energy around the orb seemed to become larger as Erik stared.
My duty is to protect my princess from anything that threatens her. You, rogue spirit, are considered a threat.
All you do is touch her and take her energy.
Well, that's what he is. He's an incubus, right? That's not true.
What else does the icky man do?
I opened my mouth to retort back, but suddenly froze. Feeling my thoughts escape me. For some reason, I couldn't remember anything else Erik had done except for what the spirit said. He would kiss me, hold me, and take my energy. This was wrong. Something is definitely wrong. Why couldn't I pin down more things that Erik did for me? He's sweet and he's kind and... there you go. I held my head and shut my eyes, trying to focus harder on my thoughts. Erik, however, stepped towards the orb. A group of enthralled tendrils emerged from his back.
That's enough. You don't belong here, spirit.
I expected the spirit to fight back, but it didn't say anything more. After a moment of silence, the spirit faded into the darkness of my dreams. Erik and I both let out a small sigh of relief.
Are you okay?
Yeah? Yeah, I am. Erik nodded before wrapping his arms around me.
I swear that I will keep you safe.
Oh. Words Erik spoke resounded in my chest, making me feel light and believe every word that escaped his lips. I felt safe enough to hear his determination. Still, I couldn't help but feel a small restlessness in my body, despite being in a dream. This is weird. I thought that sleeping would help my anxiousness at the situation I was in, but it only made me more worried. With this new fear in my mind, I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to hold out until we defeated the demon lord. A spirit was really haunting my thoughts. This was insane, to say the least. You're in the demon world. Is this really insane at this point? Still, the spirit quelled for now, at least until we found a way to expel it from my body. I woke up that morning before Erik, physically refreshed but mentally troubled. The event that ran through my thoughts in my dream both bewildered me and scared me. How long was the spirit going to be stuck to me? A knock at the door interrupted my thoughts and woke Erik. Whoa, hey, shirtless! Oh my god.
It's us. We brought food.
Okay.
Can we come in?
Yeah. Sure. The thought of the food made me relax a bit and forget of the circumstances I was under. The door opened to reveal the other incubi and their wives, holding plates of food. James and oh god, how do you say her name again? His wife. However, each carried full plates, passing one to me and Erik.
Oh, thank you, James.
Yeah, thanks.
You're welcome.
You'll never guess who prepared it, though.
You? My mind instantly went to Matthew or James. They were usually the ones who made food when we lived in my house. Still, it could have been Damien as well. But then my mind circled to the rebel leaders and Diana. We were in their castle as guests, so it would make sense if they had made the food for us. Looking down at my plate, I noted the selection of food. Fruit salad, bread, cheese, and some sort of meat jerky. It seemed native to the demon world, but it was indeed human food. Using process of elimination, I decided it was probably Diana.
How did you both sleep? Our rooms are on the opposite end of the hall, so we didn't know how you two were doing.
We're fine.
Did you two get to catch up?
Matthew, please.
Please, Matthew. They obviously did more than catch up. A bit of Twilight Tango? Sensual salsa? I bet he dipped right in.
What the hell? Oh my god, this is great. Erik and I looked at each other, ignoring Norin's innuendos as we thought of the seriousness of the situation. Did we want to tell them what was going on? Oh no! Okay, I feel like we should tell them. Is that the right thing to do? Because, I trust these guys, so I'll just tell them. I didn't want Erik to be the one to explain. The spirit was in my body, and it was my problem. I motioned for Erik to eat before turning to the group and staring at my explanation. Well, there's something we found out last night. I haven't been in control of myself because of something.
What did you find out?
Wait, you're not saying that... Hey, are you pregnant?
That's what I thought! Is she pregnant? Erik choked. I quickly turned my head to see Erik covering his mouth and coughing almost violently, most likely trying not to suffocate on the food that was in his mouth. He quickly swallowed his food and smiled painfully at the group.
No. She is not pregnant.
Are you sure about that, Erik? I mean, Erik was right. This was a whole different matter. For a second, I wondered what Erik thought about the question, but more importantly, we needed to let the group know what was going on.
Is having a child that bad?
Uh-oh. The room around me seemed to freeze as a spirit's voice appeared in the air. I looked around and noticed that everyone, including Erik, was still. What?
The icky man doesn't think so.
What do you mean? In the middle of the room, the spirit appeared, making me gasp. It floated over Erik and spun around his head, making him light up slightly.
Well, if she were pregnant, I'd be able to expand my legacy.
What the fuck, Erik? Erik? Was that what he was really thinking? He wanted children to expand? No. No, this is a trick. I glared at the orb as it finally moved back to the center of the room. You're lying to me. Whatever you're trying to do won't work.
I'm not doing anything. Just look at him.
I did, wanting to prove the spirit wrong. However, my eyes couldn't lie to me. He had a nervous, almost pondering smile on his face, as if he was keeping quiet about his thoughts. Were the thoughts I heard really Erik's? Erik! What the fuck?
He's an icky man.
Would you stop saying that?
It's true. He wants to make babies with you. You heard so yourself.
Okay, it's not that bad, but just, for the reason to expand his legacy, come on. He didn't say that, but in a way he did. Expand his legacy? Who says that? Then again, the look on his face couldn't lie to me. The more I gazed into his eyes, the more I could see a form of disappointment. Was I overthinking it?
He keeps touching you and trying to make you feel good. He wants to make you have his babies.
Let's not say anything. I didn't know what to say. Truly, I couldn't exactly lie and say I wasn't somehow convinced of what I was shown. Still, I wanted to trust Erik, and we still needed to fix the spirit haunting issue. I looked at the floating orb, seeing it bob up and down in place. So how long do you plan to be sticking around?
Sticking around?
Yeah. How long do you plan to be in my body?
Oh. I don't know.
Okay. I didn't know. I wanted to stand up, but I felt my body stay in its place. I guess, in whatever phase the spirit had in me, I could only shift my head, but not move from my spot. That only proved that this was in my head. You don't know?
I don't know.
How do you not know?
I just don't. I tried, but I can't get out.
Oh. This was proving to be useless. As childlike and innocent sounding the spirit was, this conversation was obviously going to go nowhere. I sighed and lowered my head, closing my eyes.
I was trapped when I died too, you know?
You died? Huh? What? Oh no! Oh no! What is this? Was she trapped here? What the fuck? What are you talking about? I looked at the spirit, suddenly curious. They were trapped when they died? As the world began to move around me again, the orb vanished without a trace.
We have a different issue. My princess is being haunted by a spirit.
No, you can't just cut me off there. What happened?
A spirit? But I can't hear its thoughts.
You can't catch everything, Damien.
That doesn't make sense. If a spirit's inside of her body, we would have sensed it.
That's the odd part. There's someone within her, but they are not powerful enough to be pinned down. It's as if...
It's a child.
Yes, how did you know?
Spirits of children are extremely versatile, miss. They are smaller and less noticeable than a regular spirit, but their emotions run just as high, if not higher, making them more powerful.
So a child made you fight Erik?
Yes, it also called Erik the Icky Man.
Well, you were for a long time, dude. You can't deny that.
Shots fired. What the hell, Matthew?
That was before I met my princess.
I looked at Erik as he looked back to me. His eyes were full of love and appreciation as he smiled down at me, making a small blush run across my cheeks. Erik gently lifted his hand and caressed my cheek, making my face warm at his touch.
You changed me for the better and turned me into a proper man. I would never wish for you to feel that I am disgusting.
Aww. I hope that's true. I'm scared. I said this in the first, the Seduce Me 1 playthrough. Don't break my heart, Erik, because I can't take it. No. Erik. Let's kiss him, because you know what? Fuck this. Erik was so sweet to think of me. I loved him for everything that he was and is. He was occasionally perverted and seductive now and then, but that was part of the charm I fell for. He was still my Erik. As I kissed his cheek, Erik gasped and I could feel the quick forming warmth appear on his cheek under my lips. I pulled away and noticed the red tint across his face, but a loving smile still plastered on his expression.
Should we leave? They look like they're ready to make those babies now. Ow!
Eric! Matthew, please!
Knock it off, Matthew.
Oh my god. Before anyone could laugh, however, another knock reappeared at the door. Who is it?
Diana, dear. May I come in?
Oh, okay. Sure, at this point, I don't give a fuck anymore. As Diana entered, the room became silent. Her guard, Saero, followed behind Diana and stepped into the room as well, closing the door for her. He remained by the door as Diana looked at my plate.
Did you not enjoy breakfast? I can make you something else if you'd like.
No, it's okay. Oh my gosh, huh? I quickly looked down at my plate, realizing I had barely touched the food. I shook my head and looked up at Diana. No, this is great. We're just talking.
I see.
Thank you for breakfast, by the way.
My pleasure. I'm sorry that it's not much, but it's something to fill the stomach.
So weird. I'm still, cautious about Diana.
It's all good. It's better than that stew that everyone else was eating.
We had stew?
Trust me, don't worry about it. You're not missing much.
Great.
Indeed. Anyways, I came by to ask you something, dear.
Okay. Huh? Ask me what?
What exactly is going on? What was controlling you last night when your husband came around?
Right. Diana still didn't know what happened. Well, we were just talking about that. I stared at Diana. I felt something inside me grow very happy. Why wouldn't I be? She was feeding us and making us sure that we were at least comfortable. Hell, she was going to break the curse on me and kill the demon lord. At least I hope she would. Still, something felt odd about the way I felt. I shook my head and looked to Erik. He nodded and looked to Diana, causing her attention to turn to him.
A rogue spirit has taken refuge in her body.
Did she do something? Because it's purple.
A spirit?
How? We felt no such.
It's a child, Diana.
A mere child? What kind of child has that much anger and sadness that they can control a human body?
Is that fucking orb from Seduce Me 1? Do you remember that at the ending with Erik, and then she reappeared on the balcony and she did something, and then she just fucking flew away? Is that what that is?
My lady, if I may.
Everyone in the room, myself included, looked to Saero, who stepped forward by Diana's side. Diana took a moment to watch Saero, measuring his intentions before nodding and stepping back. With a nod, Saero turned away from her and looked to me. Saero stepped once more in my direction before bringing his spear up to and pointing at me. What? Whoa.
What are you doing?
What the hell's going on? Without answering, Saero continued to stare at me intensely. The spear in his hand began to glow bright gold and white color, making me that much more concerned.
Sanctus et hus exiamentes!
Okay. Before anyone could jump at Saero, the guard leaned forward merely an inch towards me, pressing the spear close to my body. However, it was stopped by a bright light magic barrier that was suddenly formed around my body, and at the sound of the child screaming. The cry rang violently in my head, causing me to grip my head in pain. Oh no, this is not good. That doesn't sound good.
Princess!
Erik reached for me, but found himself pressing against the shield as well. Unable to get close to me, the sharp tip of Saero's spear pressed against the barrier, causing the white ripples of wave around it. Saero pushed the spear harder, piercing through. The screaming, however, intensified in my head with each pulse.
What in the seven hells?
What the fuck?
I've never seen magic like that before.
I can hear it. The spirit is crying inside her head. It's hurting her.
Damn it!
Saero finally pulled back and stepped away from me. The glowing around his spear vanished, and Saero looked at Diana. The screaming in my mind stopped at last, and the barrel finally vanished, allowing Erik to wrap his arms around me and pull me close to him.
This spirit is extremely powerful, my lady. Powerful enough to block holy magic.
That's impossible.
I quivered in Erik's embrace, feeling the after effects of the sudden event that hit my body like a wave. My nerves were vibrating, and every hair on my body was on edge. My eyes, despite this, looked to Diana and Saero. Diana looked at me and suddenly glared.
Clever spirit.
Clever spirit? What do you mean?
Look at who the spirit is haunting. She's practically bleeding endless waves of energy. The spirit must be consuming it to survive and use its abilities.
What the fuck is going on? The entire room looked to me, and I could see it in their eyes that she was right. Was I really full of energy? What kind of energy? How did the amount of energy I had affect this?
The spirit is a demon, then?
Only a demon could make a barrier like that.
But a barrier against holy magic?
It's unheard of.
Not necessarily. If a demon is powerful enough, they can block holy magic, but it takes a large amount of energy.
We have to find another way to expel it. If holy magic won't work, something else will. Spirits can't bind themselves to living bodies forever.
Yeah. We'll get this spirit out one way or another.
Would we? The spirit was powerful enough to fight back against holy magic, which apparently was powerful enough on its own. I became nervous once again. Erik, feeling me tense up in his arm, gave my body a small squeeze in comfort. I closed my eyes, feeling his warmth slowly but surely calm me down.
Whatever the case may be, I'm sure we've at least weakened it. It shouldn't attempt to control you again, at least for today.
That doesn't, comfort me at all. Thank you. Diana ran her hand through her hair and looked around the room, pressing her lips into a fine line.
So, about all of you participating in the war, you all obviously need to train.
Everyone nodded in agreement to Diana's statement. While we weren't battle ready, we still needed to know at least how to defend ourselves. Diana, however, looked to me.
You, most of all.
Oh no. Huh? Me? I was suddenly confused. How come I was the odd one out, but the odd one out that had to be ready the most? Because the Demon Lord is after us. The last thing I remember about me training was that Diana was already against all the idea altogether. Diana sighed and rubbed her temple.
Apparently, there are guidelines to breaking this curse. Not only do we have to kill the Demon Lord, but you have to be nearby when it happens for the curse to even break.
Are you fucking serious? That made no sense. Where did you learn this?
Shadow. He spent the night trying to find alternative ways to break your curse. Unfortunately, we didn't find anything of the sort, but we found the guidelines to breaking it.
Well, it makes no sense.
Even while it doesn't, it's still better to be safe than sorry. I don't want to kill him and then still have you stuck here because of an error.
Oh my gosh. I could only sigh and take it in, so I had to be there when the Demon Lord fell. Great. Diana waved her hand dismissively through the air, breaking my potential thoughts.
Anyway, we can't have you dying on the way there, and we can't monitor you when we're in battle. You should at least know how to defend yourself. That's why we've come up with a solution.
Okay, what's that?
Huh? What solution?
Simple. The other rebel leaders and Saero have agreed that if you'd like a trainer to enhance your abilities, you can train with one of them.
What do you mean? What does that mean? I stared at seeing Saero step forward with a nod.
Each of the leaders is proficient in a different area of magic and battle strategy, good enough for self-defense. I can't speak for the others, but I can assure you that with Saero's skill and training methods, you will be well prepared by the time the siege arrives.
Okay. Soto nodded and bowed to me slightly. While I was flattered at the idea, did I really need a trainer? I knew Taekwondo, and at least I knew how to defend myself, demon or not. Then again, we were in the demon world, where magic was the norm. I don't think Taekwondo is going to help us here right now. Okay. What would the others teach me? I don't need a trainer. Oh god, do we go with the sexy man or the other ones? Oh, I don't know. What do I do? What do I do, you guys? What do I do? Oh no. I kind of want to go with Seto, but let's go with Seto. Seto seems skilled enough to train me. He was Diana's right hand after all, and he was the one who apparently stopped the Demon Lord from getting his hands on me. I at least had to give it a shot. Seto nodded and looked to Diana, who crossed her arms.
Very well. You've made a good choice, I assure you.
Did I? Oh my god, I feel like I made a mistake. Diana's like shady. With that, Diana turned on her heel and left the room.
Finish eating. Afterwards, you should start training.
Okay. Let me just save this. This is gonna be bad. I know it. Everyone in the room nodded their affirmation as Diana and Saero left.
Well, it looks like we'll be busy for the next couple of days.
Oh no.
This'll be fun.
Of course Sam is excited about this.
Man, training's gonna suck.
It'll be worth it though.
Damien's right.
As we all finished eating, everyone left to either train or do things on their own. I left to start my own work, determined to be prepared for what was to come. The Demon Lord was going to win. I wouldn't let him. I chose to train with Seto. He seemed very skilled, so I trusted him to train me the best of his ability. I didn't want to be a silent observer in this war. I would pull my own weight. That's right, we're strong, so we're going to do this. Seto brought me to the Grand Hall, which he had apparently claimed by his own personal training grounds, as Sergeant had used the official grounds for his army. Personal training grounds?
When I train my lady, I bring her here. That way she is not seen by the army.
Okay. Why would her being seen by the army be an issue?
It's not a matter of it being an issue. We simply choose to train together alone.
I nodded. If Diana had a reason, then that was enough for me. Soto nodded in return before holding his hand out to the side.
Now, do you have a preferred weapon of choice? Choose wisely. You need to focus and master one weapon if you wish to benefit from this training. I won't allow you to change your mind later.
Shit, okay. I stared at Saero, unsure why he would ask me that. However, I closed my eyes and thought of myself for the moment. There were a couple of weapons I could think of. I thought of a gun, but what if human guns were powerless here? After all, demons had magic on their side. If they were powerful enough, maybe even a speeding bullet could be blocked with ease. I sighed and thought of the melee weapon I could use. Spear or sword, I already know Taekwondo. Surprise me. Oh god. I feel like, let's go with a fucking sword, because I think it's the same as I know Taekwondo. Oh my god, please. Saero closed his eyes and closed his outstretched hand into a soft fist. Black and purple mist slowly formed around his hand and wrapped around itself like a spiral in a crevice between his fingers and palm. The magic elongated and formed itself into a black handle with a white, almost lavender blade stretching upwards from it. Saero walked towards me and handed me the sword, letting me feel the light weight of it on my hand. It was almost feather-like, yet my hand knew this was a weapon.
A very simple weapon. You should be able to learn quickly with it.
That's what I thought, because a spear seems more, you need to be more agile to use it, so I just, safety. Alright. Soto nodded and stepped back, gripping his gold spear and going into a stance. I followed suit.
Trust your instincts. I'll go slow so you can adjust yourself to the weapon. However, I won't remain slow for long.
I feel like Arya Stark returning with Syrio Forel. I stared at Soto, now fully settling into what I had signed up for. I was learning how to defend myself and possibly how to kill someone. I felt a nervous shiver run up my spine before taking a breath and trying to relax my muscles. Soto seemed to take my breath as a signal to prepare as he took a step back and readied himself with a stance.
Are you ready?
Well, you know what, fuck it, we have no choice. I nodded. I had to ask to be trained. If I wasn't ready then, I wouldn't ever be. Soto crouched down, gripping his spear before lunging for me, ready to skew me on its blade. Oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god, where's the mouse? Dodge. I reflexively jumped away, avoiding the tip of his blade as I stepped onto the side, stared wide-eyed at how far he had thrust his spear, jamming it all the way through the space that I was previously in. Jesus Christ. Was he really trying to kill me? Oh shit. Pare, I don't know. I jumped forward and swung my sword against his spear and pushed his blade away from me. With a loud clash, the spear pushed to the outside, leaving him open. I had him. I felt powerful and I readied myself to attack. I lunged in and prepared to pierce him with my own attack. However, Saero moved his spear across his body, blocking my attack and pushing me back. I growled at myself, not seeing the strength in his defense. As I landed, though, I saw a small smirk on Seto's face. Was he proud of me, or was he mocking me? Either way, I had to use the momentum to lunge forward again, continuing our sparring match. We continued to train. What the fuck? It's purple outside. We continued to train relentlessly through the day. Each break we had was small, but I understood why. I had only a week to learn how to fight after all. Time wasn't on our side when it became to me learning how to fight, or at least how to defend myself. As we finished our sparring session and slowed to take another break, I let out a sigh. I was exhausted, but I knew I had to keep going. If the Incubi were going to keep training, then I had to keep up as well. Saero let out a small sigh and stretch, wiping some sweat from the side of his brow before looking to me.
Let's take a break for now.
Okay, yeah, good idea. I collapsed onto the floor on my rear and slouched over my crossed legs. Thankfully to no longer be on my feet. I thought Taekwondo was hard, but fighting with a weapon was proving itself to be even harder. I felt a little envious for the people who were able to master weaponry.
I have to admit, I'm impressed. For the first time holding a weapon, you did pretty well. Yes. My lady had to train for months to try and use her weapon properly.
Really? Well, what does Diana use? I was curious about her. I knew she had magic, but did she really need a weapon? Of course, if her energy ran out, but then she needed some sort of protection. Saero stared wide-eyed at me for a second before smiling softly.
She uses a saber, a curved sword. While regular straight swords are good for piercing your opponent, curved blades are made for slashing and cutting your opponent down. They're a little difficult to maneuver without in-depth training.
Yeah, I can see that. Saero looked down at his hand, forming a saber with a black grip and a deep purple blade. It looked like a masterwork blade, despite it forming in his hand magic. As Saero stared at it, his smile brightened a bit.
A saber is much more graceful in combat than a regular sword. Anyone can wield it, but it takes a true master of the blade to use a saber properly and make a fight look like an elegant dance.
Oh no. Okay. I was in awe. I could see a soft shadow of adoration in his eyes as he spoke. Did he really adore his mistress that much? I think he loves her. I'm pretty sure that's obvious. You seem to really... Do we want to be nosy? Let's be nosy. Fuck this. Like, I'm just really curious about Diana right now. You seem to really care about Diana. Saero looked at me with a chuckle.
I don't just care for my lady.
You love her? That was obvious. The way he spoke about her, volumes of his affection for her. As he looked at me, a flash of realization washed over his eyes. What?
You're human, so you would understand.
Oh my god, he loves her! Look at his face! Understand what?
Love.
Ah. Oh my god, I'm so, okay, you know what? I'll forgive Diana in this moment and not be sister. I ship her and Soto together already. I stared at him, knowing the meaning of the word, but not understanding what he meant by saying it. What about love?
Well...
Oh, come on! Oh my god, he's so cute! For a moment, Saero looked back at the saber in his hand before shaking his head.
Never mind. It's nothing.
This is so cute, I can't lie. I wanted to ask more, but a pair of footsteps go through the room from the door, causing me to turn around to see who it was. Oh hey, it's your girlfriend. Diana lightly glistened with a thin layer of sweat and wiped her brow. Stepped into the room with a smile. I could hear Seto's breath hitch softly as Diana walked in. She did a small hair toss, most likely to get some cool air behind her neck, before looking to her guard and my trainer.
How is training going?
His fucking face!
Going fine, my lady. How are the airs?
Oh my god,
They're
done.
Strong, but not strong enough. At least not yet. It will take more time to get them up to par with where they need to be for the war. They've been in the human world for too long, and they've lost their sense of real battle.
Uh-oh. In haste, Diana looked at me and held up her hand towards me, as if to ask for forgiveness.
No offense to you, of course.
It's fine. It's okay. I understood the human world was vastly different from the demon world, so the boys had become humanized and softened. Still, I was sure that they would train hard and become better than the demon lord.
Anyway, I was just taking a break and wanted to check in. Had to make sure you didn't kill our guest, Sarah.
I would never!
He's so cute! Oh my god. Diana's laughter filled the room as Seto's face brightened to a hot pink tinge.
I'm merely joking. I trust you, Sarah. Besides, she can take care of herself.
Diana looked to me with a nod and smiled as if she knew I would be okay, at least in Seto's hands.
I'll leave you both be then. I'm sure that after we're finished training, your husband will want to replenish his energy, and it wouldn't do if you were still training here when he finishes.
Okay. With that, Diana turned and walked out of the room. Saero and I kept our eyes on her before I looked over to suddenly love-struck guard. His eyes were glued to the door that Diana left from, almost unblinkingly. Oh my god, that's so cute! Oh no, let's let him stare because, he's in love. There was no harm in letting him be weird for... Okay, there was no harm in letting him be weird for a little while. As he stared at the door, I stretched my neck. Finally, Saero snapped out of it and looked to me, blushing wide-eyed.
Sorry. Where were we?
Training!
Right. Let's go again.
Oh my god, this is adorable. I love it. In complete reversal, Saero's expression hardened to a serious stare at me. I nodded, knowing that the break that we had was over now. Once more, we trained and continued until dinner rolled around. As the soft echo in the dinner time bell reverberated through the halls of the castle, Soto and I went our separate ways. Him to his lady and me to my bedroom. I fell into the bed, exhausted. My body felt completely at the mercy of the fluffy mattress beneath me. Today was rough. Rough for Soto too. I mean, come on. Luckily, before I came into the room, I had been shown bathrooms where I could relieve myself and bathe properly. At least hygiene wouldn't be an issue. I had bathed in the crystal clear water before, returning my room and flopping onto the bed like a bomb. I heard the door open and close, followed by the soft pattern and labored footstep rocking around the bed and stopping on the other side. I knew it was Erik, but I turned my head to verify my guess. I was correct. However, I felt my face flush at the sight. Oh no. What is it? Oh god, he's shirtless again! Erik was shirtless and his skin was beautifully covered in water droplets. His hair was damp and his breathing was labored. He must have trained hard, if not harder than me at least, and bathed right afterwards. Oh shit. Hi.
Good evening, love.
Oh my god! I could tell that he wanted to flop under the bed and simply pass out, but something held him back. I tilted my head to him, making Erik smile.
I'm going over what happened today.
Okay. And?
Do you feel disgusted by
Stop asking me, I don't! I kept my eyes on Erik, letting my mind wander a bit over him. I still loved him and didn't feel the need to yell at him or push him away. I had to assume the spirit was still resting from Seto's attack. Nope. Erik nodded before climbing into the bed and leaning back against the bedpost. Let's cuddle with him, because you know. I settled close to him and placed my head on his shoulder. Erik smiled and wrapped an arm around me, holding me close.
It's been a long while since I've trained like that.
Since Malix, right? What happened to Malix, by the way? He didn't die, did he? Erik nodded with a smile at me. I remember Malix, the damnable monster. He had wanted to kill the boys and even kidnap me as bait. Luckily, he didn't last long. During the time he was around, though, Erik had trained hard and done his best as he could. I was kind of proud to see him going at it again. I yawned, getting ready for bed. There was no use in prolonging sleep. The darkness welcomed me into its embrace as Erik wrapped his arms around me protectively. Uh-oh. Huh? The cries of the spirits vibrated through my mind. I knew Erik would take a bit to enter my dream, but I could only look around as the sound of the spirits whimpering echoed around me in the darkness. Hello?
Go away!
Oh no, we heard it! Finally, the orb appeared. It wasn't bobbing up and down in the air like it usually had before. It was laying on the ground, like a ball. I walked around and crouched before sitting down in front of it. The sound of its whimpers made my heart hurt. Did Soto attacks really hurt it badly? Even more than that, it was apparently a child. I want to say it's their kid, but at the same time, it's just like, what if it's that thing that Diana did something to me? Like, I don't know. Don't. I'm sorry. I'm too nice. I winced a bit at its words. I was trying to be sincere, but I had assumed the spirit was too hurt to care.
Why did you do that?
We just wanted to try to get you out of my body.
Why did you hurt me?
Oh my god, I didn't mean to. Every word the spirit spoke felt like a knife through my heart. I didn't mean to hurt it, but we had to try. I was certain the intention of the attack was to expel the spirit, not to hurt it.
You're just like him.
The fuck? Like him? You mean Erik?
No. The evil man.
Who's that? Evil man? I stared as the spirit gently lifted itself off the ground and began to slowly bob up and down in front of me.
The evil man that killed me.
The demon lord? Fuck off! My body froze as I suddenly heard the demon lord's laughter all around me. The voice bounced through the air, sending me waves upon fear of my body in an endless cycle. However, the spirit didn't react. Was the spirit causing the voice? The spirit lowered itself back onto the ground and laid still, the purple aura around it still ripping around inside.
You're gonna hurt me again!
No! What? Don't say anything. No, I won't. Oh, don't say anything. No! Don't. Oh no! Oh god, we made a mistake! I felt heartless for not saying anything. I couldn't say that I wasn't going to, but we had to get the spirit out of my body somehow. I felt a hand suddenly place itself on my shoulder, and the demon lord's voice faded into silence. I quickly turned to see Erik, looking down at me with a concerned expression.
Are you alright?
Yeah?
The icky man is back.
Stop calling him that! Erik ignored the spirit and gently turned my body to face him.
Don't listen to whatever that spirit says. We'll expel it soon enough.
Oh, I kind of feel bad for it, though.
You don't care about her. You just care about babies.
Whoa. I stared instinctively. Erik summoned his tendrils, ready to attack, but his expression melted into concern. Something was holding him back that made him a bit worried. Was the spirit telling the truth? The spirit simply faded into the dark without continuing the conflict, leaving us alone. Erik?
Yes, my princess?
Are you trying to knock me up? What's happening? Do you want me to be pregnant? Hey, huh? I had to know. He reacted so violently towards the spirit at the mention of children. Erik's face, however, contorted from concern and melted into a look of confusion.
Where is this coming from?
I don't know, man. Like, I just wanted to know. Erik sighed and nodded, making a small lump in my stomach harden. He really wanted me to be pregnant? Before I could speak, though, Erik raised his head with a kind, soft smile.
I would be happy to have you bear my children and for you to be a wonderful mother, but not unless you want to. You would be the one bearing the burden the longest.
My heart skipped multiple beats. I wasn't shocked to his words. Erik continued.
In the demon world, it is a regular occurrence for incubi and succubi to breed as often as possible. It's only natural that I'd want children, Princess. However, you are a human, and even more so, you are the one I love. I obey your every command.
Hope that's true! Before my eyes, Erik slowly wrapped his arms around me, around my form, and kissed my forehead. The warmth of his embrace made my entire body melt, but I wrapped my arms around him in return.
We're not even married yet. We can probably wait until after we say our vows before we think about children.
Hey man, you know, people have kids before they get married. That's okay too. I was just saying that. A small laugh interrupted me as I nuzzled Erik's chest. He was right. We didn't have to think about it now. I shouldn't have let the idea get to me. Right. I nodded in reply, just wanting to completely immerse myself in Erik's arms. Okay, so we're gonna end the episode here. A lot of things just happened and I'm very confused now. But also, Saero and Diana, like, that's a complete ship right there. They're so cute. At least Saero, he's like very, very cute. Please let me know in the comments if you haven't played this game yet, what do you think the orb is? Because I still don't know what it is. I'm very confused and Diana's still shady to me. Anyway, with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye!